Obviously, need to be precise in these things, don't we? So we shall wait for the whistle to go anytime now, Melissa. There we go. And Chido Obi gets the game underway in PL2. Manchester United against Newcastle United. And top of the table is on the line for the Reds. Will Murdoch, ball out to Kukonki. Fletcher just closed down quickly, and Newcastle have turned the ball over in a dangerous area. Back it comes to Pivas. Forward from Thompson. Kukonki makes the challenge, and United come away with it. Only 3 changes from that tie in midweek, Ben, and there will be some legs in here that have done an awful lot of running, playing 90+ extra time.
Yeah, they've had a decent run, haven't they, in this last week or so? 3 games. But when you're winning, I know that doesn't go down to the other night, but when you're having such a good season, you're enjoying playing football, you just want to play all the time, and these lads, as we said at the top, have had an excellent season.
Fletcher has his shirt tugged, but manages to get away with the ball. Referee allowing play to continue. Out to Godwill Kukonki. It's a good driving run. Across to Louis Jackson. First time into the feet of Victor Musa. Musa bends a lovely ball in towards Chido Obi. He's fighting for it on the edge of the penalty area. Newcastle are going to get it away. Rafe McCormack chasing down. That one will be a foul given by the referee. Rafe McCormack just struggling to get back at him.
Yeah, just a little bit of a tug there on the centre forward, Neve.
Underway at Fulham as well. 0-0 in all of the PL2 games after a couple of minutes. Charlton. Picked up by, sorry.
No, I'm not sure what he saw there. Maybe he was expecting somebody to make a run from one area of the pitch, but there was no blue shirt in sight where the ball ended up.
Well, Jack Fletcher is penalised for that challenge. Didn't see too much in it, shoulder to shoulder with Rory Finneran, but the referee thought that there was an impediment. Left it away. Kukonki's not going to be able to get to that one. It's out for a throw-in on the far side. First goal in PL2 has gone in. Middlesbrough have taken the lead against Aston Villa. It's the kind of start you want, isn't it? Goal inside 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Harris under pressure from Obi. It's a good escape ball. Newcastle trying to find a way forward. Charlton looking for that run of Park. Maybe that's what he was looking for with the previous one. Park's got on the end of this one and he's into the penalty area. It's a good cross too, and that is a brilliantly worked opening goal from Newcastle United. Finished off with aplomb, but made by Park down the left-hand side. Finished off by Ferreira. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 1.
Well, you talk about opposite outcomes from the same ball. First one nowhere near, the second one perfectly weighted. He spun in, Park, after laying that ball off in behind, and Charlton found him. Definitely no case of there being an offside flag, and he just goes at Louis Jackson on the outside. It wasn't Louis Jackson, sorry, it was Sonny Al-Joffrey on the outside, and Ferreira, who's coming off that right flank, and just side foots it home back into the opposite corner, and it's a good start for Newcastle.
Pulls it across the goal well, doesn't he? Park. And good movement from Mateus Ferreira. Well, uphill job now for Manchester United, but
plenty of time to do it in.
Yeah, plenty of time to do it in, you're right. And we know that this Manchester United side have got goals in them. It's actually been their defensive record this season that's been a real standout, but certainly have been able to find the back of the net when they've needed to. Don't find yourself in second position in the PL2 table without being able to score goals. Jackson, Musa. Jackson with the throw-in.
You can see that the midfielders are working so hard to try and free themselves, because they're virtually man for man in there at the moment, Newcastle.
Fletcher looking for Morehouse. Morehouse loses his footing. That's an excellent attempt. Oh, what a finish. Absolutely incredible from Neve. Spots Will Murdoch off his line, and with the outside of the right boot, lifts it over him. That's a spectacular finish to double Newcastle United's advantage. 2-0.
Well, he was the first one to react. And he is their, I think I'm right in saying he is their top goal scorer. And just that slip there, and then the ball over the top, it's completely caught the two centre-backs out, who were pushing out, thinking that United were going to go on attack. And Neve has nipped in between them, saw the advancing Will Murdoch, and rather than take the ball down and go round him, he had the presence of mind just to loop it over the top of him. And inside 6 minutes, United are 2 goals down.
And that is Sean Neve's 14th goal of the season. Ben is absolutely right, their top scorer.
With finishes like that, you can see why.
Yeah, credit where it's due.
Confident.
That is an excellent finish. Manchester United now with a little bit of a mountain to climb. That same principle applies. Park wins that back and into the penalty area. Pulls it back again. Could be 3. Brilliant save from Murdoch. Close range and slid across and managed to get it away. United looking to get on the break here with Morehouse. Good running from him, and then ran directly into Rory Finneran.
Well, good save, you have to say, from Will Murdoch.
Parks on his bike again. Back infield to Munda. Out to Miley. Miley's right footed cross is a dangerous one. Good header from Al Joffrey to get it away. Helped out of the box by Kokonki. Fletcher closing down. Obi chasing. Goalkeeper just thumps it away. Aidan Harris. And what a blistering start from Newcastle United.
I was just about to say, Liam, that all the under-21s games that we've covered this season, and we have never seen a team do this to Manchester United. And that is arguably, of the of the goals that they've scored, the 3 chances they've created, that was arguably the easiest one, and fortunately it remains 2.
Could so easily have been 3. Murdoch. Out to Kokonki. Sees that opportunity to stretch his legs, and he does love to do it, bursting past his opposite number. Armour to Al Joffrey. McAllister. Morehouse. Round the corner to Kokonki. That's a lovely ball from Danny Armour, just a bit too close to the goalkeeper. Victor Musa gives a thumbs up in salute.
It was a rangy pass. It was a good starting position from the goalkeeper. Oh!
Brilliantly closed down by Chido Obi. Musa lifts this into the penalty area. Just too far wide of Finlay McAllister, who points to Victor Musa and says, I could have done with that into my feet, really, rather than behind me.
Yeah, I think he's right. The space was there just for him to slide it inside the centre-back. But good closing down from Chido Obi. That'll have the goalkeeper in two minds in future. He was really quick to get that block on it.
Well, he has got electric pace, Chido Obi, when he decides to turn the afterburners on. It's a good tackle from Finlay McAllister. Down the left-hand side, looking for Kokonki. Kokonki goes down in the area. The referee with a decision to make. Decides that the ball was won. And it is cleared away by Newcastle United. And then a foul on Danny Armour gives United the free kick.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for the referee because it is one of those, is the ball taken first or is the man? It's still...
My gut feeling is penalty.
Inconclusive to me as well.
I think had to go through Kokonki to get to the ball, maybe. Red tinted glasses on again. Through the middle for Obi. Goalkeeper is remarkably close to the edge of his penalty area. Leaning forward, his feet were on the line.
They never get given though, do they? They never get given. It must happen so often.
Out to Park.
No.
Yeah, a little bit too much on that, but Seong-Soo Park has already proven that he is a tricky customer down this left-hand side.
Yeah, he's lively.
Solly pointed out a couple of names in this Newcastle United side that might be reminiscent of Manchester United players past. If you're called Charlton and you're from the northeast, that's relatively big boots to fill, aren't they? Forward to Munda. Vivas. Charlton. Park gives it back to Dylan Charlton. Good tackle from Rafe McCormack. Armour. United are just going to want to spend the next 2 or 3 minutes getting into their patterns of play, calming everything down, seeing whether they can find a way through this Newcastle United side.
Well, we're not used to seeing it, and they're obviously not used to having to deal with it being 2 goals down. Certainly so soon, but the caveat to that is the fact that we do have time to be able to rectify it.
Musa. Just a moment of indecision there, wasn't there? Louis Jackson eventually taking advantage of that. Al Joffrey to Obi. Obi just gets crowded out of it.
He did, because his first touch was excellent.
Finneran goes down under the attentions of McAllister and wins the free kick. It's been a nice day in the northwest of England. Not warm by any stretch of the imagination, but the sun has come out. I mean, astonishing that we went from 22 degrees on Wednesday afternoon and woke up Friday this morning and it was 4 degrees outside. It was a little bit of a shock to the system. Headed up towards Obi, but picked up by Thompson, the captain. It's a good ball down the line too, and now Newcastle United again looking for somebody in the middle of the penalty area. Comes all the way through the box to Park Seong-Soo. Gonna go round Louis Jackson. Louis Jackson cannot deal with that pace. Munda gets the shot in. It's going to be cleared away. Jackson was in a spot of bother there as Park went past him.
Well, as a wide player, Park is doing exactly what all wide players should do, and that's how he created the first goal, and that is by testing your full-back out. I know it wasn't Louis Jackson on that occasion, it was Sonny Al Joffrey to create the first goal, but you just be positive. And he looks a talented player, doesn't he, the South Korean.
Swung away. A little nudge in the back there from Kokonki is enough to win United the throw-in. Adam Lawrence with a bit of a Rubik's Cube to try and solve now. Obi dispossessed. Pivas into the feet of Park. Back it comes to Pivas, and now away by Newcastle United. Nodded down by Louis Jackson, finds Rafe McCormack, forward to Chido Obi. Maybe an opportunity coming here. Obi's effort takes a big deflection and will go behind for a corner.
Oh, he's picked that ball up centrally. He did have runners either side of him, but he used them as Jack Fletcher just running into that hole. Kieran Thompson stood his ground.
The referee is going to come over and make sure that that ball is in the quadrant. Morehouse surveying the penalty area. Manchester United substitutes behind him. James Overy on the left. Whipped in near post. Headed half away. Al Joffrey looks to get on the end of it, but it's taken off him. It's a good tackle by the retreating Dan Armour to win possession back. Fletcher. Al Joffrey. It comes to McAllister. Clattered against the shins of the defender by Victor Musa. Well, Newcastle raced into a 2-0 lead and now giving Manchester United problems, able to just sit on what they've got. They have no real urgency in terms of having to get forward, and that obviously benefits them and causes Manchester United a little bit of trouble as they're trying to break them down.
Yeah.
Armour. Played so many games this season. Danny Armour, both for the under-18s and the under-21s, one of those players that is available for both age groups. Al Joffrey. Morehouse using his body well. Armour to Kokonki. Infield to McAllister. Rafe McCormack, another one that has played a number of games for the under-18s as well as the under-21s this season. Under-18s have got a couple of big games coming up. Crystal Palace twice. 2 cups, one in the semi-finals, one in the final. He's out of play, been given as a Newcastle United throw-in.
Yeah, they were just crowded out. Oh, I think McAllister was.
Dylan Charlton just stretching out a hamstring there on the right-hand side of your picture, far right, just out of frame. Be worth keeping a little eye on that. Ball is up and over the top. Kokonki retreating. A big collision between a couple, and eventually referee deciding that Ferreira has impeded Kokonki and gives United the free kick. Manchester United the free kick.
I think that's fair.
What do you do now if you're Adam Lawrence?
You don't panic, do you? He knows what this team is capable of. They've just been sucker punched in the first 5 or 6 minutes by a very fast starting Newcastle side, who have taken 2 good chances, but fortunately for Manchester United missed the third one, which could have been key even at this early stage. But you still fancy this United side to get themselves back in the game.
Adam Lawrence prowling in the technical area. Those of you that might not be too au fait with what's been going on with Manchester United's academy, maybe you're tuning in for first or second time this season. The under-21s league coach job was being done by Travis Binion. Travis Binion is now part of Manchester United's first team coaching setup after Michael Carrick came in as head coach. And Adam Lawrence back in the box seat. Actually went to Newcastle for a little while.
I was just about to say the same thing, yes. Where he came back from.
Armour. It's a good ball to Kokonki. Bends one into the penalty area. It's a really good ball from the left-hand side. Nobody could get on the end of it. Ends up behind for a corner.
That's a great ball. Just one touch out your feet. And look at that. Keeper can't come for it. Maybe you just think that Victor Musa might have made a little bit of a dart just in to try and get inside Dylan Charlton.
Fletcher with the corner. McAllister stands it up into the box. Nevy's going to run it away. McCormack, always favourite to win that race, despite the fleet-footedness of the Korean.
It won't matter anyway.
I was going to say, it had a hint of offside about it from Chido-Obi. Newcastle play around Manchester United. Charlton looking to squeeze that one through. Shouts for a penalty. Referee is unmoved. Maybe thinking that's a 6 and 2/3 kind of incident. Not one of those that you're going to want to perform too many times over the course of the game.
No. We'll put it down to the same category as Kokonki. I think probably the right decision, but had she given either of them, I don't think anybody could have argued either.
Morehouse to Fletcher. McAllister. Kokonki. Rafe McCormack just trying to find a bit of room. Eventually through to Morehouse. Challenges well for it. Finds Victor Musa. Musa with a bit of space here. Bends one in towards the back post. Punched away by the goalkeeper. Maybe catches Chido-Obi as well.
Player down as well in the box.
It's Chido-Obi, who I think has been caught. This was the incident with Dan Armour at the other end of the field. Yeah, I think the referee's probably got it right, Ben.
Yeah. Let's say that the referee's got them both right.
Yeah. Chido Obi, meanwhile, is back on his feet. He was very close to having his head punched clean off his shoulders by the goalkeeper trying to get the ball away. Just took him a moment to get back to his feet. He's now closing down Aidan Harris. Louis Jackson's clearing header. Falls to Musa. Through to Obi. Quickly closed down by Pivas. United are getting into better positions, aren't they, in the last 10 minutes or so. Newcastle are dangerous on the break like this. Munda is going to look for Park. Musa trying to track Charlton into the box, does well in the end to get a block on it, and it's behind for a Newcastle corner.
Yeah, he just needed to make sure that he didn't trip him, but he did enough to stop the ball from coming into the box. They do look dangerous down this left-hand side with Park.
Really important from Victor Musa to track the run of Charlton there, who was barrelling into the box.
She's not checked that one.
Nope. Neither is the assistant on this near side. It's a long way out of the quadrant. It's good work from Manchester United, cutting off the passing lanes, and Chido Obi keeping the goalkeeper under pressure too. Fletcher runs into Finneran. It's around Finneran too, but helped out ably by Ferreira. Thompson comes across to Miodrag Pivas. Aidan Harris, the goalkeeper. Again, Chido Obi's not far away from closing that down. Dan Armour pressing high up the field. Rafe McCormack just trying a little too hard to win that back. The look on your face says you didn't think there was much in that, Ben.
I didn't, honestly.
Kieran Thompson with the short free kick. Gets it back from Neve. Armour watches that onto his forehead. Newcastle that win the second ball though. Munda. Ferreira outside of the boot. Back post. Header comes back across goal. Still a chance here for Newcastle. Shouts of handball. Referee takes a long look. Decides against the penalty. Maybe proximity. The mitigation there.
That's what I thought as well.
Newcastle still playing though. Pulled back to Munda. Brilliant intervention. I think that's Rafe McCormack sliding back in to get a touch to it. Manchester United still defending here though. As Munda arrives, can't get his head over the ball, and it's well over the bar.
Really good interception from Rafe McCormack. It was such an important touch. Here's that cross just after it. Munda couldn't control the header. Well, I have to say, he's opening, what? Is that 29 minutes?
Yeah, it is.
The Newcastle performance a little bit sort of belies where they are in the league.
Just so you know, Ben's glasses are on the desk in front of him, just hasn't got them on. Musa. Musa taking on Charlton. McCormack. McAllister to Al Joffrey. Newcastle very compact in front of the ball. Kukonki trying to make some space, finds Fletcher. Fletcher's cross, deflects away. Will be out for a throw-in. No, doesn't go out. And that will be a yellow card for Dan Armour.
I would have thought so. He'd be lucky to escape one.
He's run away from the scene of the crime. The referee has summoned him back. And it is a yellow card for Dan Armour. Did well to keep that in.
It's a good turn from Ferreira.
And it is a rugby tackle from Dan Armour, so no arguments really. Offside flag goes up against Chido Obi. Well, Newcastle out of possession are working extraordinarily hard to get themselves in behind the ball, and that's what's causing United problems, Ben.
Yeah, they are. They're working really hard and making sure that they have an outlet ball with Neve, but other than that, the players in front are making it really difficult for United to find any sort of space.
Good ball for Louis Jackson to chase on too, but the quickness of the Korean just getting there in front of him. Looked like there might be a break on through the middle there for United, but for the pace of the winger. McAllister, Kukonki, back to Finlay McAllister. Looks for the switch, finds it too to Musa. Just a little hesitant, Victor Musa, to take that ball on down the right-hand side, wasn't he? Decided to come back inside, and once he did that, gave the defender an opportunity.
Well, it wasn't just the one, was there? There were three there, and he just needed to go outside. He's had quite a little bit of the ball, Victor Musa, and he hasn't once tried to test the fullback on the outside, and he's quick. And as I always say, you know, the worst he'll get in that move would be a corner. But once he turned back inside, he was turning back into trouble.
Al Joffrey trying to get United moving. Fletcher.
When you're a player playing in those wide areas, you want to mix it up a little bit. Yes, if you have certain joys doing certain things, then you want to keep doing it, but just to keep the fullback guessing inside, outside.
Kukonki. Fletcher gets it back from Armour. And now Al Joffrey. Again, look how compact Newcastle are. So difficult to find a way through that. Al Joffrey plays it against Park. And then gets into a shoulder-to-shoulder wrestle with him. Park thinks that he's been fouled. The referee disagrees.
He was quite cute with that, wasn't he, Al Joffrey?
Kukonki with some space, looking for Morehouse. Jack Fletcher. Morehouse again, gets a right-footed shot away. Bouncing in the penalty area. Just gets nudged off it, brought away by Mason Miley. the brother of Lewis.
Good ball.
It's well controlled as well by Jack Fletcher. Gets a good cross in two towards Chido Obi. Good defensive header. Two good defensive headers. That is definitely a route through for Manchester United, is with a bit of width. Seen Musa down the right-hand side and then Fletcher down the left.
Yeah.
Obi still chasing. Bit of a lost cause, that one, but he chased it anyway. Well, this is a Newcastle United side that, as I pointed out, have not had the greatest of seasons. Currently sitting 23rd in the PL2 table. Managed 5 wins this season out of those. And this will be their 19th game. But have come out of the traps tonight. On fire, and of course Manchester United problems. Scored 2 early goals and are now more than happy to sit when they have to. It's well done from McAllister. Kokonki. Rafe McCormack looking for a route through the middle, and there isn't one there, and you can see the frustration as he's trying to find that pass. Fletcher, good turn from him. Lovely footwork to get into the penalty area. Back heel to Obi. Morehouse just wants to try and drag that away to give himself some space, and allows Pivas to take it away from him. Kokonki closing down Ferreira quickly. Given away by Newcastle. It's another good ball into the middle of the penalty area. Just a little on his heels, Victor Musa.
Yeah, just like the one that came in earlier from Kokonki. He's sort of waiting at that back post to hope that the cross is either overhit or the fullback misses it, instead of making a dart and making things difficult. Because United have put some good balls into the box.
Meanwhile, I think we've got a problem for Park Seong-soo.
It's a head, isn't it?
Well, McAllister just trying to get past him. Does catch him. Not quite sure there's enough in that to be lying on the floor, but
I'll keep tight-lipped on.
Yeah, okay, I understand. This is going to give everybody an opportunity to grab a drink, and for Adam Lawrence and the coaching staff to get some instructions on. Does feel that when Manchester United have been able to get the ball wide, that's where they've had their most success, Ben.
Yeah, because Newcastle is so compact, that's where the spaces are at the moment, but also spaces can open up if you move the ball just a little bit quicker. Even if it's only a couple of yards that you dislodge one of those midfielders, stroke defenders, then it'll be enough to be able to slide a pass for somebody like Chido Obi.
It was Mark Skinner that told me, he was giving me a bit of a tactics lesson. When you're playing against a block like this, a low block from Newcastle when they're out of possession, if you divide the pitch into 5 channels, so you've got the middle channel, the 2 wide channels, and then the 2 half spaces, you have to move the ball over 4 of those 5 at at pace to be able to pull a team out of the block.
Which is basically what I was trying to refer to, but he will have explained it to you in far more technical and tactical detail.
I was basically trying to back you up. That's what I was doing. Trying to show that you knew what was going on. That's not a foul, according to Melissa Bergin, the referee. So United now having to defend, and Neve's nipped in behind again. That's a lovely touch too. Parker arriving in the penalty area. Neve shifted out to the right, and it might be the wrong direction. Still going here, Newcastle. Stretch from Finneran. Back it comes to Charlton. Now Park against Jackson. Inside to Finneran.
Well, they were very fortunate there, United, that that Neve chose completely the wrong option. Park was the simple ball with his right foot straight into his feet with nobody in front of him, and he opted to run into trouble.
It's a good challenge from Rafe McCormack. Just getting a toe in, slowing everything down. Giving Manchester United a chance to regroup. The break there was excellent from Newcastle United. We've got a problem for somebody here. Well, Finlay McAllister is deep in conversation with Adam Lawrence. I think we are going to have a change. It might be Jack Fletcher that's struggling. Meanwhile, Park going to have a go. Goodness me, what an effort that is from the edge of the area. Makes a really good connection with it. Just lifts it over the bar.
Yeah, just couldn't keep it down. And we've seen him on numerous occasions already going on the outside. And that's what I'm talking about, keeping your opponents guessing. This time he stepped in. The first time we've seen him do it on his right foot. No, his shot wasn't going to trouble Will Murdoch.
Yeah, Jack Fletcher is off the field on the far side.
Maybe Jim Thwaites then, will it?
Well, if the change is required, that would be the sensible option, but he's not moving particularly well, Jack Fletcher. But is he going to come back on? Maybe. Certainly not heading down the tunnel just yet, so we shall wait and see whether that changes abound for Manchester United as he re-enters the fray. Park against Musa. Comes back to Finneran. Rory Finneran. Clever from Pivas to find Finneran in space. Well intercepted by Manchester United. Well, Joffrey just getting there. Munda picking the ball up on the edge of the box. Bailey. Back to Finneran. Ferreira. Finneran again. Pivas just shifts the ball from right to left and then finds a pass down the left to Charlton. Charlton's cross turned away at the near post and picked up by Louis Jackson. Iwobi wins the throw-in. through the lines to Obi. In that really tight space where there's so many Newcastle players, if your touch isn't absolutely inch perfect, if it's a centimetre wrong one way or the other,
they're on top of you. They're on top of you.
They steal it away.
I have to say, it's probably been one of the most impressive displays I've seen against our under-21s this season.
3 minutes of time added on at the end of the first half. I wonder whether, I mean, you alluded to this right at the beginning of the commentary, 3 games in 7 days, a squad that has got some away with, that have been away in Ireland with the first team, got an under-18s game tomorrow afternoon, players out on loan. I just wonder whether there is an element of a lot of football.
Fatigue.
Lovely movement there from McAllister across to Fletcher. Fletcher with the effort, and that is a good save. And that just couldn't generate the power, Jack Fletcher, that he wanted to.
Well, that's certainly the best opening. He picks up the loose ball after Victor Musa's tackle, McAllister, and he skips away from Pivas. And you can see what Jack Fletcher's trying. He opens his body out to sort of whip it into that corner, but I'm not so sure whether he's moving particularly well. Maybe that hampered the strike.
I think he's struggling with something, isn't he? Jack Fletcher. Normally you would see him just put his laces through that.
Yeah. Well, we've seen him do it recently, haven't we?
Leeds United on Good Friday is the game Ben is referring to. Harris pulls that clearance. Musa comes back inside, finds Jackson. McCormack. Musa looking for McAllister. It's a good header from Louis Jackson. How does he get that under control? McCormack to Dan Armour. Al Joffrey out wide to Musa. Fletcher. Looping ball ends up with Neve. Armour gets in a tangle. Neve still going here into the penalty area, gets the shot and it's over the top.
Did that clip the top of the crossbar?
It was very close. And as Armour tries to make this challenge here, ball just gets caught underneath his legs. Falls really kindly for Neve, and it does hit the crossbar. Jack Fletcher to be replaced by Jimmy Thwaites. And the final change is going to be Samuel Lasale, who's going to come on for Chido Obi. Now what that will do is it will push Victor Musa into a centre-forward role. Lasale will play off one of the wings. And Overy has obviously gone in at right back. Jimmy Thwaites will play as the 10, as a direct replacement for Jack Fletcher. So let's see whether that makes any difference to Manchester United's creativity in the second half. Chelsea, by the way, are leading by a 1-0 against Fulham. And we are underway in the second half of this PL2 encounter between Manchester United and Newcastle United. And an early opportunity to get forward here for Morehouse. Jack Morehouse swings in a great cross, falls in the penalty area for Musa. Musa's effort is deflected away, and it comes out to Lasale. Lasale's cross headed clear. Well, that is a bright start to the second half. 20 seconds, and Manchester United have fashioned an opportunity.
Yeah, it was a good ball played in for Morehouse, and I'm just thinking here, he had to stretch for that, Victor Musa, and Jim Thwaites, the shout from behind him, maybe when the ball was going straight for his right foot, maybe if he'd just moved his leg out the way, the ball would have fell beautifully for him to strike that, Jim Thwaites. But a good start nonetheless.
Well, Jim Thwaites offers a real range of passing. He's so good on the ball, spots a pass brilliantly, but also a real threat from set pieces.
Yeah.
Seen 4 or 5 goals from him this season, direct from set pieces, but also his delivery is excellent. And Manchester United have got one change should they decide to use it at some point in this second half, and that is Noah Ajayi, who will come on and give you some running. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a problem here, and that came from the scramble to get the ball away inside the area. In terms of starting the second half on the in the right fashion, Manchester United have done exactly that. Ben.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got another opportunity now to. Was this a free? Is this result in a free kick from this wide area?
Either a free kick or a throw in over on the far side. It was one of the two.
But yeah, that's what the emphasis would have been on at the start of this second half from Adam Lawrence, that they didn't really cause Newcastle as many problems as he would have liked, and he's hoping that these changes will encourage that.
It is a throw in. Referee restarts the game. Al Joffrey across to Rafe McCormack. McAllister. Lasale feeds that well into Overy. Cleared away, comes out to Lasale. Back to McAllister, calmly to Al Joffrey. Morehouse steals in. It was the right choice of pass from Morehouse, just couldn't squeeze it past the defender. Jimmy Thwaites. There's that range of passing that we're talking about from Jim Thwaites, and a lovely turn from Lasale. Drives to the byline. Going to win his side a corner? No, it is a goal kick.
Yeah, it cannon back off him, but it's unlucky. And straight away, Lasale has found himself getting himself to the byline and getting across, and then just being positive as a wide player. That's what you want. It doesn't always work for you, and on that occasion it didn't.
Next time it might.
Yeah, absolutely. More often than not, things like that will not happen. That was just unfortunate.
Well, we've already seen an impact in the minute that we've been playing, and the 2 minutes that we've had where we've had a player down, that Manchester United have come out and they mean business in this second half.
You often find that when you are positive, you get that little bit of luck to go with it. Everything seems to shine at once.
Lasale comes a little deeper to fetch this, cuts inside, manages to get the pass away too. Referee is going to give the free kick. It's the right decision. Was just waiting to see whether there was an advantage coming for Manchester United. Armour. Great left foot Dan Armour can use to fire the ball in between the lines. On this occasion comes square to Al Joffrey. Lasale again finds Overy on the overlap, pulled back into the penalty area. Behind it goes for a corner. Well, immediately you've got a fullback that is desperate to get forward, and a winger who's working in tandem with him, and all of a sudden Manchester United look a threat down the right hand side.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's twice now James Overy's done that, and that's what I'm saying about positivity. When you are driving for the byline like that, the worst you'll get out of it is a corner. And when you've got somebody on the field like Jim Thwaites that can deliver like he can, please don't.
Yet.
Commentators curse, as we know, it can happen.
Yeah.
But more often than not.
Meanwhile, counter-attack, break on for Newcastle. Neve, who carries the ball so well. A little fishing expedition on the edge of the D from James Overy. Sees Neve tumbling to the ground, and a free kick to Newcastle United. Yeah, just hung a leg out, didn't he?
Yeah, he has a little nibble.
Well, the Australians had a season to remember. Picked for his international first team fantastic experience that will have been for him.
Chance of going for to the World Cup?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. He'll see tonight as an opportunity to put another marker down. James Overy. Neve from the edge of the D. Smashes it goalwards and into the wall. Thwaites plucks the ball out of the sky. Jim Thwaites just keeping himself away. Dan Armour getting caught on the ball. Murdoch sprawls and collects.
Great throw.
Yeah, McAllister with a good ball as well to Lasale. Now Lasale needs to find the right ball into the penalty area. Drives it goalwards. Well, it was one of those that needed flashing across the 18-yard box. It very nearly finds Victor Musa, but for some good goalkeeping from Aidan Harris.
Yeah, it was good goalkeeping. He knew that he had to come and collect that, otherwise it would have been a simple tap-in for Musa.
And he's got to collect it cleanly as
well. He has,
well.
yeah. Lasale's been heavily involved in these opening 6 or 7 minutes of this second half.
Armour's going to get him involved again. All over the top. It's going to be collected by McAllister. Overy. Back it comes to Al Joffrey. And into the feet of Danny Armour. Ball's on again out to the right-hand side, isn't it?
It was. I was waiting for it.
Morehouse to Kokonki. Swings in the cross. Well, that could have gone absolutely anywhere. It's turned behind for the corner.
Good start. And the people that Adam Lawrence has introduced have all played their part in pushing United forward. All of a sudden, we've got fullbacks getting forward as well.
Thwaites delivers. Back post header. And Manchester United have got one back, and it's Victor Musa who turns up at the back post and nods home from close range. But the delivery is absolutely brilliant from Jimmy Thwaites. Just a tempting teaser, which is nodded home by Victor Musa, 2-1.
Yeah, no more than they deserve as well for the start. And Jimmy Thwaites, look at that. No chance the goalkeeper can come for that. It's pinpoint. And a good climb from Victor Musa. And all of a sudden, Charlton, the left back who had a reasonably comfortable first half, is already looking a little bit shaky.
Kokonki now on the run. He's got an option outside him in Jack Morehouse. Morehouse's cross comes back to Kokonki, just evades him. An inch or two away from making a connection with that. Newcastle looking to break in the opposite direction. 3-on-3 here, with McAllister trying to get back. Murdoch gets there, gets something on it, does very well to get back up again and pick it up.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. Sean Neves stayed down, but I don't think there's anything much wrong with him.
Jim Thwaites out to Lasale. Back to Overy. Al Joffrey to McCormack. Rafe McCormack across to Finlay McAllister. Takes the ball, goes down under the challenge, lands on top of the ball and gives the referee, well, the referee then has to make a decision and decides that the safest option is to give Manchester United the free kick. Morehouse. Back to Thwaites. Thwaites again. Thinks about delivering that into the penalty area. Gets it back from McCormack. Overy, central. Thwaites gets it out to Lasale. Samuel Lasale. Jimmy Thwaites on the edge of the penalty area. Referee is going to give the free kick. And this is right in Jim Thwaites' range. Yellow card. Are you signalling that it's raining, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, you were waving your hands about and I didn't know what it meant.
I know, but I was doing that with my fingers, so...
Is that what... I thought you were just doing jazz hands. Anthony Munda has been carded for that challenge on Jim Thwaites.
Well, he's been heavily involved, hasn't he, since he's come on passing range, deliver it, and now he gets an opportunity to use one of his trademark free kicks.
I think he would prefer it to be on the other side.
I was going to say, you can argue that this is more suited to a left footer, but such is his quality, you can guarantee he will get it on target.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that he would prefer it to be on the other side. I'm telling you, I've seen him score from this kind of range and from this kind of angle. First one, let's see whether he needs a sighter or whether he can get it on target. Jim Thwaites bends it goalwards. Goodness me, that is an unbelievably struck free kick, and it flashes wide of the mark.
Yeah, and it's very, very difficult as well to do that when you're going from right to left. And it had the goalkeeper Aidan Harris scrambling. I said he was going to get it on target, but that wasn't too far away at all. Great start to the half for him.
Harris was panic diving. It was, I've just got to launch myself because I've got no idea where this is going. Just past the post. I'm glad that we've bigged up Jim Thwaites' set-piece ability, and we've seen it from the first one that he's taken. Strong in the challenge from Kokonki and from Al Joffrey.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever leaves you. If you've played professional football, I think you always claim for it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your arm was straight up in the air then. If you could have shouted our ball, you would have, wouldn't you? Down the line from Newcastle. Park lifts it into Neve. Neve has tripped the offside trap. Just a little over-eager there, Sean Neve. Well, the heavens have opened at the Leigh Sports Village. Armour to Kokonki. Thwaites. Lovely body movement from Thwaites, and then draws the foul from Finneran.
Could be a card, that, you know.
And it will be. Referee Bergin has fished in the pocket, and Rory Finneran becomes the second Newcastle player in the space of 5 minutes to be shown a yellow card. Goes to show, doesn't it, that positivity from Manchester United is causing problems.
Well, I was just about to say that we're nearly a quarter of an hour into this second half, and we haven't once mentioned Park's name.
No. Al Joffrey. Park makes the challenge.
I knew you were going to do that. You didn't have to, did you, either?
No,
I knew you were going to do that.
I could have left it. But the opportunity was,
of course,
it was there, and I just,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ben.
But it just shows how dominant that they've been in this first quarter of an hour of this second half.
Neve, full flight here. Up against Dan Armour, lifted into the area. Bailey tries to get there, and it's a really good claim again from Will Murdoch. So brave in those situations. He just comes sliding out, snuffs out the danger.
Yeah. His first touch, Scott Bailey, it just took him away and gave him that opportunity, Will Murdoch. But like you said, he is very brave, and his starting position is usually really good to give him that opportunity to make sure that he's an extra person, a real obstacle to put the ball in the net.
Spotted something, I'll talk to you about that in a second, as that's over the top for Lasale, can't get there. Just keep an eye on the running battle that's going on between the two number 8s, Scott Bailey and Finlay McAllister. It is enthralling. It's like a subplot of what's going on, so just keep a little eye on it. Those two, they're giving no quarter, put it that way. Finlay McAllister, such an important part of that under-18 side, the captain of under-18 side that went on to win everything but the Youth Cup in that season. Huge player and trusted by Adam Lawrence, who was the head coach.
Substitution for Newcastle United.
So Newcastle United change.
Coming on number 12, Henry Johnson.
As Johnson onto the field for Charlton.
And substitution for Manchester United. Coming off number 8, McAllister.
And McAllister.
Number 16,
Well, you're not going to be able to watch that subplot anymore, unfortunately, because he's going to make way. Yeah, Adam Lawrence has seen me off there, hasn't he? Made the change just when I'd bigged him up. Noah Ajayi onto the field. This will be another reshuffle. So Ajayi will play out wide. Morehouse will come into a more central position, and this will look more like a 4-1-4-1 for Manchester United, with Thwaites and Morehouse, I would imagine, as two more advanced players, two more advanced midfielders, with McCormack sat just a little deeper.
Well, I mentioned about Dylan Charlton, didn't I? And he's been withdrawn. Having said that, it may have been him that was down with the injury in the first half. But he was certainly having a tough time of it with the introduction of Samuel Lasale. And his adversary from the first half scored the goal.
Noah Ajayi. If you've not seen anything of Noah Ajayi, if you've maybe missed the FA Youth Cup games that he's played in, or the Under-18s derby, really quick, really good with the ball at his feet, the German. Supremely intelligent by all accounts as well. Very good with his schoolwork as well as his football. Saw him studying the tactics book before he came on. Did you spot that on the bench where he was poring over the laminated sheets? Armour. Ajayi's going to chase this down. Goalkeeper's in a little bit of bother again.
Yeah.
Or maybe that has been spotted by Manchester United, that they can get at the goalkeeper. Been closed down a couple of times. Ben's pointing at the ball that's on again to Lasale over on the far side. Maybe he will be picked out here by Overy. Instead comes back to Al Joffrey. Ball is still on to Lasale. Thwaites.
There she blows.
Overy. Tucks it round the corner. McCormack. Thwaites. Thwaites with space. Gets the shot in. Cannons off the centre-back, Pivas. Again, United playing football in the areas that they want to be playing in. Overy nips in and takes it away. Ajayi, edge of the penalty area, fighting for it. A little bit scrappy, but United making it that way.
All of a sudden, out of possession, United are doing to Newcastle what they were doing to them in the first half. Just don't get any time on the ball, and they're on top of you.
Lasale.
Oh.
I'm not sure how much contact there was there, but Melissa Bergin thinks that there's enough from James Overy to give the free kick. Take a look here. Does he catch him? No, not for me.
Wasn't in it for me either. And I'm not even sure that Melissa Bergin herself was convinced.
May have been the fact that Overy was off his feet. Brought down by Neve. Lasale wins the challenge. Al Joffrey helping out. Manchester United played themselves out of trouble.
Yeah, very well.
Armour back to Murdoch.
Oh.
Well, Melissa Bergen is calling for the captains. Al Joffrey and Kieran Thompson. I wonder what this is about. The game has been stopped. There was a couple of glances up at the sky and the roof. I wonder what is occurring here. Yeah, well, now we've got the two league coaches being called in for a conversation. Something is happening up on the... Everybody seems to be glancing skywards, Ben. I don't know what on earth might be happening to stop the game. Got floodlight problems? No, they all look fine. Fourth official pointing at something. I can't even think what it might be. Lightning? That wouldn't... Would that stop the game, Ben?
I mean, I don't think I've ever known it stop a game here.
Certainly stopped a game in the States that we've...
They do. I mean, they do that all the time, don't they? But they're so much more frequent over the Atlantic. I nearly said it could be. It could possibly be a drone.
Yeah. You've reacted to something that nobody else has heard there, so you now sound like you're some kind of weirdo.
Yeah.
Apparently there is a drone being flown over the stadium.
I've got too many people in my ear, that's why.
It's just the voices in your head, Ben.
Oh, it could be that as well, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they have to stop the game whilst that is that's dealt with. Obviously, that poses a threat. It's also, and take this from somebody that's passed his drone qualifications, illegal to overfly people that are not involved in your flight. So unless you have given a safety briefing to all concerned, and unless you have the right licence, you cannot overfly uninvolved persons with your drone.
Well spotted by Melissa Bergen. I don't know whether she had anybody in her ear telling her, but she was certainly the first one to see it and draw attention to it.
Well,
would they be in a lot of trouble for that?
It's against the law. Yeah, you're breaking the law. The Civil Aviation Authority. I'm going to sound so boring here. The Civil Aviation Authority are responsible for all unmanned vehicle flights, and if you are overflying somebody and they catch you, then you can end up in a situation where, yeah, they can prosecute if they want to.
Yeah,
definitely. Let's take a look at the goals that we've seen so far. These were the Newcastle United opening two. We are going to get the game back underway very shortly, which is good news. Park getting the ball across for Ferreira. And a finish from the penalty spot from him. Moments later, a brilliant solo effort from Sean Neve. Lifted goalwards, and then we are back underway, by the way, and not missing anything yet, but that is a brilliant ball from Jimmy Thwaites, isn't it, for Victor Musa to nod in. So, back underway after what we thought was a drone. Actually turns out it was a Chinese lantern, apparently, according to Mark Sullivan, who's at the ground for us. Noah Ajayi. Nobody's getting prosecuted for that. Ferreira against Kokonki. United trying to keep the energy levels high, aren't they? They've got themselves back into the game. Now need to try and find the equaliser. Johnson comes back to Harris. Sweeps it away. Neat turn from Danny Armour. Finds Jim Thwaites. Ajayi. Noah Ajayi. Jim Thwaites. On to Kokonki. Once more to McCormack. Ajayi just trying to find himself a bit of space. Newcastle very compact. That's a lovely ball through towards Victor Musa, who decides that he can't get there ahead of Aidan Harris and pulls out of that potential challenge.
Yeah, it's a clever little ball. Wasn't alert to it. Henry Johnson, the substitute.
The referee
Substitution is
wanted the substitution to take place before the free kick was taken. It's scorer of the first goal, Mateus Ferreira, who is making way. Finished that very well from the penalty spot in the 3rd minute. Going to be replaced by Michael Mills. "17 minutes of the game plus stoppages, which there will be a few because of the delay that we had because of that Chinese lantern, we think. Enough time for Manchester United to go on and win the game, Ben.
Definitely. Especially with the way that they've played in this second half. They don't want to drop the tempo.
Well, if you wanted a little bit more motivation, not only have Fulham equalised, Fulham now lead Chelsea by 2-1. If Manchester United could find an equaliser, that would be enough for them to finish top of the PL2 table. If they could find a winner, well, that would give them a cushion. Ajayi. Tries to slam the shot through traffic. McCormack. Kokonki. Tried to return that. James Overy to Jim Thwaites. Didn't quite come off for him. Kokonki just shrugs off his man. Great strength. Nothing wrong with that. Armour. Kokonki. Chops in field. Al Joffrey to Lasale. Overy had made the underlapping run. Al Joffrey looks to slide it in. Moose is going to get there. Sends it on to Noah Ajayi. Back it comes to Kokonki. Swings it into the penalty area.
Didn't catch it properly, did he? I think he probably fancied his chances of a shot there when that was pulled back to him. Kokonki.
Thwaites. Morehouse. Overy. Down the line to Lasale. Lasale trying a bit of trickery.
Oh.
That's a very soft free kick,
Very
isn't
soft. Yeah. The next words out of my mouth would be just don't foul him, because at that point he hadn't done, but the assistant has seen something and you think, really?
Yeah, that one's taken me a little bit by surprise. Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. 0-0 in the Premier League, by the way. West Ham United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. A massive game that is at the bottom of the Premier League table. One that Spurs fans will be keeping a very close eye on as well. 0-0 in that game. Lovely turn from Overy. Got a bit of grass to run into as well. Comes to Morehouse. Lovely control from Jack Morehouse. Sweeps it through to Noah Ajayi. This is good football from Manchester United. Ajayi gets it back across. Touch from Jim Thwaites in the penalty area. And now he's kept hold of that. Kokonki. Ajayi. Back to Kokonki. Kokonki gets a shot in. Just drags it wide.
I think you'll probably find that there was a slight touch on it, wasn't there? Just before he took the shot. I might be mistaken, but yeah, just a little touch there from the fullback, Miley. Which means that he didn't connect with the ball where he wanted to, and why it was dragged past the far post. They're nowhere near as much of an attacking threat, Newcastle. Still have to be aware of that breakaway, especially with Neve. But they're still making it very difficult and very compact. I'd probably like to see Ajayi playing a bit wider, giving himself a little bit more space so he can build up ahead of the steam, running at the full-back.
Thwaites. You watch Jim Thwaites, every time he receives the ball he checks his shoulders. Tries to see where the space is. Noah Ajayi may get a run at the fullback here. He's going to go through the middle, pulled down, referee waves it away, shakes her head. Noah Ajayi has just slipped between the two defenders, goes down in the penalty area. The referee's not having any of it, and maybe an opportunity coming in the opposite direction here. Finneran swings in the cross, very deep, met at the back post by Mills. It's going to be United that get the ball away, opening up this game.
Well, she's officiated this game excellently, Melissa Bergin. I have to say that she got that wrong. That is a clear penalty. It's a lovely bit of footwork from Ajayi. He's gone in between them. Why on earth would he go down when he's in on goal?
It's a great ball to James Overy. Overy's going to lift the cross in. Comes down to Ajayi. Chance from the edge of the penalty area. Oh, Jim Thwaites hit it brilliantly. Really good connection. Just pushes it wide.
Yeah, great control with the strike as well. Difficult balls to hit them when they're coming straight back at you like that. Especially when it's bouncing, but he gets over it. Really good technique.
Here we go. Ben says it's definite penalty without the benefit of a replay.
Scott Bailey trips him. He trips him inside the box. There's no question.
It's a penalty. Manchester United have been hard done to there, and I think you're right. Melissa Bergin has done a very good job.
Excellent job.
For the majority of that. Unfortunately, that one is one that has been missed by the officials.
Now, this is one of the footballing phenomenons, this.
Well, they're looking at ways to try and prevent this from happening, aren't they?
Well, I mean, he could have thought of something else other than how do goalkeepers get cramp? Come on.
I'm trying to find an answer for you, and I haven't got one.
Well, you haven't got one because it just doesn't happen.
How many minutes have you got wearing a pair of goalkeeping gloves, Ben? He's done a lot of running tonight. Sweeper keeper? No?
Get off.
Yeah, it's one of the things that when football's lawmakers met a little bit earlier this season, and were talking about ways that they could help the game, and this was one of the things that they were talking about, how they could prevent that from happening. one of the thoughts that came out of that was maybe you have to make all of the players stand in the centre circle whilst the goalkeeper's getting treatment, so you can't go and get instructions from the sideline. Ben's not even going to dignify it with a response. Got another problem here. I think we're going to continue. There's just a little bit of consternation, wasn't there, on the benches again? Have a Newcastle United change as well. That will be after the goal kick. Newcastle have decided that long is the way to go. Lovely turn from Noah Ajayi. Realises that Neve is arriving at a rate of knots, and if he can evade him, and there's a bit of space. Kakonki, lovely close control from him as he tries to feed that through to Victor Musa. Comes back out to Ajayi. Handball not given. Frustration etched on Noah Ajayi's face.
Yeah.
Thwaites to Overy. On to Lasale. McCormack. Flicked on. Morehouse. Real chance. Good block. Really needed to be as well, didn't it? Because it looked like it was going to open up for Jack Morehouse, maybe for Lasale, as he tries to dart through the lines. Clever from Thwaites to find Overy. Morehouse. Jim Thwaites. Oh, that's a foul on Jim Thwaites. And that's going to be a change as well for Newcastle. His substitution on its way. It will be Kyle Fitzgerald coming onto the field. In fact, two changes. First one is Park, who has been relatively anonymous in this second half, to be replaced by Kyle Fitzgerald. Watts is also making his entrance to the field. Still waiting for these changes. Newcastle are going to take their time. It is Mason Miley who is the other change. West Ham United lead Wolverhampton Wanderers by a 1-0 in the Premier League this evening. As I say, that is a big game down at the foot of the table. Fulham still lead Chelsea by 2-1 in PL2. That's a big bit of news for Manchester United. If they can find their equaliser, they would finish top of the PL2 table. Jim Thwaites going to try and fashion an opportunity. Ball bent in towards Danny Armour. Armour can't get there, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, these lads are never going to be under the influence that only one goal to draw the game would be enough for them to finish top of the pile. Scorer of the West Ham goal has come from an odd source, one that you wouldn't necessarily pick out. Konstantinos Mavropanos has apparently smashed one into the back of the net. Header from a corner that puts Tottenham Hotspur into the bottom 3 of the Premier League. Welcome back to England, Roberto De Zerbi. Big weekend this weekend in the Premier League. Question marks over Arsenal's ability to keep up that gap at the top of the table, especially with their game in hand being against Manchester City in a couple of weeks' time. Manchester United facing Leeds United Monday night, 8 o'clock. We will, of course, bring you Matchday Live and commentary of that one. Part of a triple header this weekend of football on MUTV. Got this one today, got the under-18s tomorrow afternoon.
And then, of course, Manchester United's men's first team on Monday evening. As always, keep an eye on the Manchester United official app for all of the news ahead of that one. Michael Carrick's side looking to chase down Champions League. Really a bonus as well. Earlier this week, confirmed that top 5 in the Premier League will get a Champions League place. And with Manchester United, I think they've got a 7-point cushion to 6th place at the minute. It's looking positive without being confirmed. I think the maths is 4 wins required from Michael Carrick's side to confirm it. Meanwhile, under-21s are looking for a win here. That looks like a foul on Lasale, but maybe they're deciding that he's not going to get there anyway, so they're going to allow it to go. Adam Lawrence bellowing second balls, which is exactly what Manchester United are going to come up with here from Jimmy Thwaites.
Great touch.
Jai. Definite block off on him there. And a pull of the shirt for good measure. Free kick and a yellow card too for Scott Bailey.
Less of a foul than the penalty that he should have been awarded.
Well, I mean, that's a stonewaller, isn't it? And that decision could well have handed Chelsea top spot in PL2. We shall wait and see.
No, somebody will bag the winner here. Not the winner.
Equaliser.
The equaliser.
Kakonki. Thwaites. McCormack. 2 minutes plus stoppages, of which there are likely to be 6 or 7, I would imagine.
I would say so. At least, I would have thought, 6 or 7 minutes.
Jai across to Al Joffrey. Al Joffrey tries to find Musa. Cleared away. Newcastle on the march here. And a real opportunity in the penalty area for Kyle Fitzgerald. Brilliant defending, committed running from Manchester United, and then Will Murdoch doesn't switch off either. Gets the ball away.
Yeah, that was the one thing in this second half that you always had to be... I mean, don't get me wrong, he needed to get across. I actually thought that with the amount of space when he picked up that ball, Fitzgerald, I thought that was really poor. He was always wanting to get the ball on his left foot, but if he'd gone with his right, it's a goal.
It's going to be 9 minutes added, which is probably about right. Couple of breaks in play, couple of injuries, substitutions, the goal.
Surely enough time for Manchester United to fashion a really good opportunity.
Morehouse running through midfield. Gives away the foul. You would imagine there will be one more chance for Manchester United.
I hope the referee is adding time on for here as well.
9 minutes confirmed. Armour being pulled, referee spots it.
That's good strength from Dan Armour.
Two centre-backs clashing. Miodrag Pivas, the guilty party.
I mean, he looks Eastern European, doesn't he, as well? Really, really robust character. They have a distinct look about them.
Serbian. Got quite a Serbian name too in Miodrag. Ajayi. Noah Ajayi. Great balance from him. McCormack. Musa looking to get on the end of that. It's just overhit by Rafe McCormack.
It's a decent ball too.
Newcastle will take as long as they physically can.
They will.
Opposite side of the 6-yard box for the goalkeeper from where the ball went out. Anything you can do just to take another 20 seconds out of the game. Maybe another opportunity coming here. This is Mike Mills. Mills, brilliant block again. Manchester United looking to get away. Control from Ajayi, finds Jimmy Thwaites. Thwaites, yeah, is eventually going to get the free kick. Quite sure why the referee waited as long as she did, but United take it quickly. McCormack to Lasale. Lasale looking for Overy. Overy just watches Pivas steal in. Clearance is straight out of play for a throw-in for United. Al Joffrey takes it quickly. Thwaites clips one out brilliantly to Lasale. Pulled all of the strings, Jimmy Thwaites, since coming onto the field. Can he pull the pivotal one? That's the real question. Rafe McCormack out to Kokonki. Back to McCormack. Now Thwaites. Thwaites looking to roll that into the penalty area. Headed on to Lasale. Lasale's header doesn't make the connection that he wants to. And it bounces straight into the hands of Aidan Harris.
Yeah, it was a difficult one for him. Initially won by Victor Musa. I'm just wondering... I think he did enough, didn't he? Pivas.
Offside against Newcastle. Neve may be a little fortunate to avoid the yellow card there. Right on the borderline of nuisance and illegal. Jai pulls it back across the line. Just a slightly heavy second touch, wasn't it?
Yeah. He did well to stop it from going out, but it was a heavy touch.
Overy looking for Lasale. Well defended by Newcastle. Well, nervous 90s now. Substitutes watching on behind the coaching staff. Less than 5 minutes to go. Fulham still lead Chelsea by 2-1. An equaliser would send Manchester United to the top of the PL2 table at the end of the regular season. Playoffs still to come, of course. Final of the playoffs determines the outright winner.
They're just playing for territory and time now, aren't they?
McCormack. Now Manchester United need a bit of dynamism to get them up the field. Provided by Sonny Al Joffrey. McCormack. Noah Ajayi. Kokonki going on the overlap. Decides to find Jim Thwaites. Kokonki slides that through towards Victor Musa. Fights for it in the penalty area. Shrugged off the ball by Pivas. Danny Armour. Thwaites. Kokonki on the run. That is a thumping challenge from Logan Watts.
It was.
Armour. McCormack. Morehouse. Back to Armour. Down the line to Kokonki. Kokonki looks to swing the cross in. It's well blocked again by Watts. Patience required. Thwaites looks to bring that down. Cleared away. This time by the captain, Kieran Thompson. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time left to go. 2.5 minutes for Manchester United to find the equaliser to send them top. Thwaites. Lasale. Lasale's going to go on the outside. Lovely run from Samuel Lasale. What can he do here? Looks to pull the cross across the 6-yard box, which is blocked and away. It's going to be a Manchester United throw-in. Thwaites allows it to run across him. Lays it off to McCormack. Rafe McCormack. Out to Kokonki. Measures the cross towards the back post, headed away. McCormack looking to get there. Thwaites with the effort. Big deflection. Bouncing ball. Cleared away by Watts. Telling like it was Fitzgerald. Back in the opposite direction. And a measured header by Thompson back to the goalkeeper, Harris.
Good ball from Kokonki. Played into a really good area.
Ball skids off Al Joffrey's head. Armour completes his header, but it ends up fortuitously back with Newcastle United, who are going to wrap things up. Well, Manchester United pushing and pushing for the equaliser, have been caught out. A sucker punch from Newcastle United, who have been under the cosh for the entirety of the second half. They have broken away, they have got lucky with the bounce of the ball, and they have finished. And that will bring the game to its conclusion. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 3.
Yeah, he gets rewarded for his endeavour, Anthony Munda. But it's just the outstretched leg here of Rafe McCormack that just flicks the ball the other side of the onrushing Will Murdoch, and the easiest goal I'm sure that he'll have scored all season, Anthony Munda, and that'll just about, well, it will put it out of reach now with, what, seconds left remaining. They didn't really deserve that in the second half, Newcastle, but yeah, a real shame, especially with Chelsea still losing.
It means there's no change at the top. It will be Chelsea top of the table on goal difference. 10 goals the difference between Manchester United in second and Chelsea at the top. And Fulham's win against Chelsea this evening will push them up to third. Remember, top 16 go through to the end of season playoffs. And United will be one of the top seeds, so we'll have a home draw for the first game. And as it stands, that will be against Aston Villa. Unless anything changes, the Villa game has just finished. They've lost 2-0 this evening. Ajayi. Could have had a penalty, of course, Noah Ajayi.
It would have been different, wouldn't it?
2-2.
Yeah, would have been different, and it was a penalty. And it's as I said, it's the only mistake that the referee has made all evening. But it was a big one because it was blatant. It was a blatant trip.
Ajayi trying to squeeze between two players. Brought to the ground, but the referee either didn't spot it or didn't think there was enough in it. Full-time whistle goes, and Manchester United, despite intense efforts, have been unable to overturn Newcastle United's really quick start. 2 goals inside 6 minutes to put Manchester United under pressure, and then from there, United in the second half, by far the better team, managed to get one back, but as they were pushing for the equaliser that would have taken them top of the PL2 table, was sucker punched by Newcastle United to bring the full-time score up at the Leigh Sports Village. And Manchester United, a disappointing result at full-time. United 1, Newcastle United 3.